June 25th, 2009, 12:21 p.m. A single 911 call crashes the internet. The king of pop is dead. But inside the mansion, it wasn't a tragedy. It was a crime scene. A sleepless icon, a desperate doctor, and the milk that stopped his heart. This is 83 Minutes.
But to understand why the king of pop was so desperate for sleep, we have to look at the stakes. The answer lies in the numbers. $400 million in debt, 50 sold-out shows at the O2 Arena in London. The This Is It tour wasn't just a comeback, it was a financial survival mission. Promoters had warned him, if he missed a single show, he would be ruined. The pressure was crushing. Michael wasn't just battling insomnia, he was battling the fear of losing everything he had built. At 50 years old, his body was failing. He was plagued by chronic pain from old burn injuries, dependent on painkillers and terrifyingly thin. He needed rest to perform. But the more he panicked about sleeping, the more impossible sleep became.
It is the night of June 24th, Staples Center, Los Angeles. Michael is on stage, rehearsing for the tour. He looks fragile, but when the music starts, he is electric. The crew cheers, the dancers are amazed. For a few hours, the magic is back. At midnight, he walks off stage, smiling. He tells his choreographer, "Thank you, I'm ready." He gets into his black SUV and heads home to 100 North Carolwood Drive. He thinks he is going home to rest, but waiting for him in the master bedroom is Dr. Conrad Murray. Michael's obsession with Propofol didn't start that night. For months, he had been searching for a doctor who would give him what he called milk. Propofol is not a sleep aid. It is a surgical anesthetic used to knock patients out for major operations. It shuts down the brain. It doesn't provide natural sleep. Other doctors had told him no. They told him it was suicide to use it at home without monitoring. But Michael didn't want safety. He wanted oblivion. And in Dr. Conrad Murray, a cardiologist with his own financial troubles, Michael finally found someone who would say yes. 1:30 a.m. Michael cannot sleep. He begs for relief. Murray gives him Valium. Nothing happens. 2 a.m. Lorazepam, still awake. 3 a.m. Midazolam. For 8 agonizing hours, the king of pop is pumped full of sedatives, but his eyes remain wide open. He is desperate. He grabs the doctor's arm and pleads for the only thing that works. He begs for the milk. 10:40 a.m. Murray gives in. He injects 25 milligrams of Propofol, a powerful surgical anesthetic, straight into Michael's vein. Within minutes, the thrashing stops. The breathing slows. Michael finally sleeps. Murray watches him for 10 minutes. He thinks the star is stable, so he leaves the room to make a phone call. When Murray returns, the room is silent. Too silent. Michael isn't breathing. This is where the timeline breaks. Instead of calling 911 immediately, Murray panics. His actions over the next hour would become the center of the murder trial. First, he yelled for help, but not to the police. He called security. Then, according to witnesses, he began cleaning up. He collected vials of medicine. He removed the IV bag from the stand. He placed them in bags to hide them in a closet.
While the most famous man on Earth lay dying on the bed, the priority wasn't resuscitation, it was concealment. It took him 83 minutes. 83 minutes between the moment Michael stopped breathing and the moment help was finally called. The autopsy revealed a heartbreaking truth about the man behind the myth. The King of Pop weighed only 136 pounds. His body was a map of pain. Scars from multiple cosmetic surgeries, arthritis in his spine, and chronic lung inflammation. But the most shocking discovery was his stomach. It contained no food, only partially dissolved pills. The toxicology report was damning. It wasn't just Propofol. His blood contained a lethal cocktail of lidocaine, diazepam, nordiazepam, lorazepam, and medalazam. He hadn't just died of an overdose. He had been chemically shut down. Conrad Murray was convicted of involuntary manslaughter and served 2 years in prison. But the question remains, was this just a mistake, or was it the inevitable collapse of a star pushed too far? At 2:26 p.m., Michael Jackson was pronounced dead. The tour was canceled. The music stopped. In the end, Michael finally got his rest, but the world lost its rhythm.
History is full of tragic figures who flew too close to the sun. If you want to see more forensic deep dives into history's darkest moments, make sure to subscribe. And click this video on the screen right now to see the mystery of the Dyatlov Pass, another story of a frozen timeline and unexplained death. I'll see you in the next one.